like to watch Survivor, and when the show ends, you really want to talk about it with like 5 new friends. It might be hard to find some, but don't you shed a tear. Check out the Purple Rock Podcast, and this is what you'll hear. John will tell some dumb jokes, Andy likes to yell and curse, and if they're not available, the backup hosts are so much worse. We'll spend the whole time being jerks and telling you you're wrong. And so we got this other jerk to sing you our theme song. It's the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Purple Rock Survivor Podcast. I am Matt, your host today. With me is the blackjack to my hookers, Emma. How you doing today, Emma?
I'm doing all right. You know, the horrors persist, but so do I.
Oh, yes. Oh, they sure do persist. They are very persistent.
We've also had rain, so, you know, that's unusual.
We had a lot of rain yesterday, too. And I'm sure people really want to hear about the weather that we're experiencing.
I do think that's what people come here for, yeah.
Yeah? You think that's why people tune into this podcast?
Precisely, yes. They're like, you know what? We just watched Survivor. They haven't had a lot of rain on Survivor seasons. What about the continental U.S.?
Right. You know, we should probably just jump right to our top 3, which is top 3 rains that we've lived through in the past couple weeks, since that's what they're here for. Or I guess we could talk about like the episode in the season.
I suppose we could. What have you been thinking about the episode so far?
I liked the first episode, though I think I would have liked it more if it was 90 minutes. And this episode, I didn't find that interesting. I think the problem is the focus has been on one tribe, been like really heavily on Vula, and I really don't like Vula. So that's been my problem with the season so far. What about you?
Yeah, I think pretty much the same page, but the good news is I would say these early episodes have not maybe been the level of Drek as, say, the beginning of Survivor 46 that focused all on one tribe. And that ended up being a fun season towards the end. So, you know, Say is no Banu, at least in my mind, in terms of maybe who people are responding the most negatively to. I would much rather.
Banu didn't go full Banu until like episode 3 when we were all like, put us out of our misery. So I'm just saying, maybe wait till next week before
that's a good point.
Say that.
However, I will say, if we've learned anything, Say is not here to win 1,000,000 hearts. She is here to win, or at least to play.
Yeah. Huh.
And I can at least vibe with that more. But I do think episode 2, you know, the second boot is rarely the most exciting. Although it is interesting because in theory, this should have been like, you know, I think at the start of this episode, that wouldn't have been how we would think it would end, right? And yet,
yeah,
I didn't find it to be a particularly like satisfying or enjoyable blindside. But
I agree. And I think I mean, you know, we'll kind of get into that part of the episode a bit later, but I think it was because kind of a lot of the suspense was already gone. You know, we knew the idol was out there. We knew who wasn't going home. So then it was just like, okay, so it's just who don't they like? Who do they want out here? So.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Plus, those 2 options were maybe the less fun. You know, even for people who root for, like, that's the tension. It's not.
Yes.
It would be like if last week it's like, ooh, is it between Stephanie or Mary? It'd be like, well, who gives a shit?
No, totally. Right. I mean, and that's, again, we'll get to Vulu, but I think one of my biggest problems with Vulu is I just don't find them entertaining. You know, it's not even a dislike. It's that there's a lot of people on that tribe that are just there. And sometimes it's okay to be quieter. But if you're on an entire tribe where everyone except Say is just
the
there.
more chill person, yeah.
Yeah. So that's yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. By the way, if you hear really loud like whatever kind of in my background, speaking of weather, the wind is insane and I am right near the
It's really windy here too. Although I think it slowed down, but my windows were a rattling.
Well, all right. Well, I guess we will forge ahead, with this very professional production. So,
Yeah, I will say the reason why he's stumbling a little is because I was side messaging Matt like, "Hey, we can hear you clicking up a storm."
don't reveal the secrets to our enterprise. Don't peel the curtain back.
I only did because you were really bad at being smoothly continuing to talk while also trying to answer me.
Okay, fine.
To which he said, "I don't know how to fix that." I said, "Type less." I'm the one who's still supposed to be on the clock right now.
You just said clicks. I didn't know which clicks you were talking about. There could have been lots of clicks. It could have been mic clicks. We should probably move on, shouldn't we?
They're never going to let us get. Good thing John will probably not listen to this.
Neither of them will listen. What are you kidding me? Like they don't even listen when they record.
Oh no, Andy listens to his recording. He wants to hear himself talk.
Right? Yeah, he fast forwards to all the John parts. Good point.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna get to Vulu and just their whole thing in a bit, but let's just kind of run through the other tribes and their parts in this episode. So first we had Civa. And the show continues to give us the hardcore foot content that people demand.
Yeah, congrats to Charity. It does seem like she must be winning because just like Dee, she's got weird feet. ?
Is that now a trait that we look for in winners?
It's a trait certain people look for in winners.
I would say those people then they consider themselves winners after this episode.
I do think it's funny that as far as I could tell, her like weird, quote unquote weird feet seemed to primarily be that her like second toe, what index toe?
Sure.
The first little piggy, I don't know, is longer than her big toe, which is a like pretty common.
That is very common, in fact. Yes, that is.
In fact, not that weird.
Insanely common. I don't know the exact numbers on it, but it is far from rare.
Right. It's common enough that I feel like when you're doing high school biology and you're seeing, your basic traits like, oh, do you have a widow's peak or not? Are your earlobes attached or not?
Right. So, I mean, but what did you think of that, like, scene as a whole,
I mean, people talk about how they miss camp life. I do think those are maybe not the topics I most love to hear about, but I think it was important maybe seeing the bonding of especially because they do seem to have a 4v2, but that 2 I don't think realizes that. And I think the scenes like this kind of indicate why, because they are kind of also all sitting around.
Yeah.
They're
all participating. Yeah.
Yeah. I will also say if Kyle's callus that to actually be a wart had in fact been a callus, it would really be giving Katie Heron in Mean Girls when she discovers that an important part of teenage girlhood in the 2000s is complaining about your body and not able to find anything, and she just goes like, I have really bad breath in the morning. That would, I feel like, be if Kyle was just like, yeah, I have a callus on my finger. It's like, no. Instead, it seems to be a decade-long work. Go to a dermatologist, Kyle. They can freeze that off for you.
It was so funny how everyone was like, are you insane? That is not a callus. And he's like, of course it's a callus. What else would it be? And they're like, it's a wart. That's what it is. It reminded me of Homer Simpson asking Marge if it was a pimple or a boil.
Very good editing too. I always love, like, that's always a fun, I mean, it's such an easy move, but it's always fun with the like cuts to all the different people being like, yeah, no, that's a war. It's definitely a war. No, that's a war. So that's fun seeing their personality. We're just continuing, that tribe. It's like, yeah, it's like, here are the 3 main questions, or like, let's talk about what's weird
right
about ours. I'll say David does not have 4 nipples. He used to have 4 nipples.
Yeah, kind of, oversold there, I feel like. If you say you got 4 nipples, I want to see all 4 of them. I don't want to see 2 and then, like the remnants of where the other 2 used to be. I mean, well, come on, man.
Very
Give us
disappointing.
the 4th nipple.
I also like that he's like, oh, maybe like, oh, can I be milked? Or maybe that's why I like milk. I was like, you still have the 2, like you already would have had 2.
It got very weird very quickly there.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that scene. Like I'm not one of those people that's always clamoring for like bring back camp life all the time. But this was a good example of it, in my opinion.
Oh, you know what also cracked me up is when they ask Mitch, like, oh, what's the thing that keeps you humble? He's like, oh, I don't know, maybe my speech impediment.
And that was really good. And I like that he took it in stride and then they took that in stride as well. They're like, yep, that was on me. Should have seen that coming. My bad.
Yeah, that really cracked me up. Which I think also we might as well continue on. Because big episode for Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch had a good episode.
Yeah, I think something I did like about this second episode is in the premiere, there were really only a couple people we didn't see much from. And that was, I think, Charity, Mitch, and Star. And we ended up seeing a solid amount of all of them. Maybe a little less so still on Charity, but definitely I feel like I know everybody on the cast now, which is good.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Pizza, I still don't know, and his tribe's been going to tribal council. All I know is
he's pizza. He's Boston. That's what else do you need?
I mean, fair, I guess.
Boston.
It was funny how he was basically not in the episode at all, and then he popped in right at the end, and I'm like, oh, right, yeah, this guy's on this tribe. I forgot that.
And apparently, pretty well connected. Like
everyone wants to work with Pizza. So
yeah, well, Pizza has a pretty high approval rating.
You can't go wrong with Pizza.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so then, other than that scene, we also saw, Civa find the idol, and it really does seem that there's a kind of a strong 4 there. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, we've said it before, we'll say it again. What really ties people together is just not liking someone else. And Camilla saw the opportunity to be like, isn't Charity suspicious? And like, well, there's 4 of us here. I guess we're all working together.
I did like that she did that. And then she was like, wow, I didn't expect that to work so well. Though then again, having seen Kyle in action for all of 5 seconds, I would be like, no, that would totally work on Kyle, and David too. So yeah,
And if you're Chrissy, you're like, I'm the older woman. I'm gonna just be like, you guys want to work with me? Sick. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, this is definitely she picked the right people to ally with because there's no introspection going on in half of that group. So
what I think is interesting with the idols and the puzzles and stuff that we've all seen, because we've seen everybody who's found one, we'll get into Star as well, has had to work with someone else to try to get there, is I think it's doable by yourself.
It totally is. I just think the people who've been finding the clues are people who it's not doable for.
Yeah, I did see, I think it was on our website. It might have been on Blue Sky. It might have been BJ Anderson. Apologies if I'm misattributing, but someone pointed out that the people who are most likely to go out looking for stuff are also probably the people who are least likely to be like the puzzle people.
Yeah, which is what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Rachel said on the Probst podcast, look, if I found a clue, I would, beware advantage, I would try to keep it to myself. But also, if you don't think you can solve this puzzle, good on you for pulling an ally in and trying to strengthen a bond that way. And it's like, yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I don't blame them for going to people. I kind of blame them for going to as many people as they're going to. But I guess, if you think you have an alliance, this is a way to strengthen that. Or if you're Star, this is a way to try to be an ally with everyone.
Except the one person you're targeting who's unfortunately the closest to the first person you tried to work with. Yeah, I think just to step back a little bit, I think Kyle's was the least egregious, just because they were like, okay, the four of us are going out to look, and that was us, and they were already an established alliance, and I think it would end up looking pretty shady because I mean, David saw him find it. Obviously, he found it was David, and
Right.
they were like, oh, we should loop in the women. Makes sense to then go, he feels like Camilla's most likely to solve it, so he goes to her. Like, that, honestly, I think is fine. Like, if you're already starting that way, you kind of have to.
Totally.
Say I would question, but you know what? Scoreboard.
I
And
mean, yeah, I mean, also, Say was never solving that herself. Like, I watched her that first episode. She couldn't stop panicking for 5 seconds, like, without someone else there to help her out. It was like she was a mess. She needed someone to, help her.
yeah, the star one, now that's interesting because she starts off going to one person, and it seems like because Joe must just give off the vibes of you can trust me, goes to him, but then they quickly determine, like, well, neither of us are going to be able to solve it.
It was
Plus,
very funny how, yeah, Joe, I mean, even through the TV, if I met Joe, I'd be like, dude, I trust you, like, in 5 seconds, of course. I mean, wow, solid guy right here. But yeah, not the person you want to go to help you solve a puzzle.
and it's also, I think it was smart on his part to be like, okay, like, I have this alliance. I don't want them to think I'm like trying to make side deals. It's like, let's bring one of them in.
Yeah.
And so even that, like, makes sense because they needed someone to solve it. But then when she also still goes to Thomas and Bianca,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. I mean, clearly she's anti-Eva because Eva suggested she sit out. I do wonder if maybe it might be time soon for Eva to tell everybody about her autism because I do
I
wonder
mean,
if
that definitely seemed like, just classic autistic trait right there. And I don't want to stereotype, but also, she has said this is something she deals with. She talked about basically this type of thing being the exact type of thing that she would do. I mean, I didn't think Eva was targeting Star. I think
right.
that
She's
was
just like, this is a logical thing until we see what
yes.
the challenge is. So you should just do that.
Yeah.
I would also point out that it's not going to be Star every time, like, because they've
No.
changed that rule anyway. So whatever. Apparently, Star has a background in basketball, so they might have thought things differently. But again, it worked out. Although I think I saw someone post that Star had said, maybe online, I'm not on Twitter anymore, that she isn't a strong swimmer. So that might have been
Okay.
balanced out over the basketball of it.
Right.
But that was funny. Like, remember when the Braun tribe was going to try to throw the challenge and then it ended up being a basketball
Yeah.
challenge? Good times. But yeah, it's weird because she needed to do something because while she might not have realized it, it did seem like she was the clear one on the outs. However, going to everybody, I don't know, you can't just assume then that, like, well, we're all going to agree on who I want to target, right? Like,
Yeah.
maybe leave Thomas and Bianca out for a bit, see what Cheyenne and Joe think.
Yeah. And I the thing I liked about it was also just kind of, I didn't like Star going to everyone, but then I liked kind of everyone's reaction to it. And my favorite was Thomas being like, why don't you just lose the, like the guide, the clue thing. And Shane's like, oh, wow, okay, you're like that person. Interesting. And
it'll. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No. It's just like, that plants a seed in their head. And, for the two of them that, like, even if they did lose that and vote out Star, like, Shaheen now sees something in Thomas that he hadn't before.
Yeah, I was going to say this. It'll be interesting to see if that ends up affecting affecting the California girls, as it were. I was originally going to be like, oh, maybe in a merge, is Kevin going to usurp Thomas because Kevin is actually from California as opposed to just living there, but they don't have to worry about that anymore.
No, they do not. No. I mean, there's a lot of people that live in California on this season, so...
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who live in California.
Oh, look at you with your numbers.
But you have 2 Philadelphia people, kind of.
That's true. Yep.
So.
Yep. Mary lives in Philly. Sai's from Philly. So, yeah. Apparently, my neighbors met Mary before the season.
That's fun.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's funny. The Loggy tribe kind of like gives off this air of just like, oh, we're like the challenge beast. We're like the normal tribe. I actually really like that tribe. I like a lot of the people on it. I like the Eva and Joe dynamic. I like that Joe is just like this, like, everyone's like, oh my God, I love this guy. It's kind of funny. Just like when you get someone that's like so like solid, I don't think he's going to be very good at the game. He seems already like he's hitting up against the wall of like, oh, I'm going to have to make these decisions. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make them. I like that Thomas like seems to be like a little underhanded, but in a fun way. Shaheen, I like that he seems to be able to like see like what's going on with some other people. Like, I like this tribe generally. Like, I'd say like of the tribes, like this is by far my favorite of just the general people, which is funny because there's not a lot of like shit stirrers. Like, there's not a lot of like outsized personalities, but I just think that like all these people are kind of interesting in a way. So.
Yeah, no, I think this is definitely the most compelling tribe, which is interesting because they're probably all going to make it to the merge.
And they might lose like one person, so.
Yeah. But honestly, like, and the longer that goes, the more complicated those dynamics
No, absolutely.
make,
Yeah.
because, maybe Shaheen starts becoming more friendly with Star because of this idol thing. Maybe you feel bad. Like, you already have Joe and Eva, you have Bianca and Thomas as pairs. Like, so then how do the California girls, choose who they get rid of? Or do the women then end up working together?
Right.
It could go really exciting. Or they could then be like the plurality, but not the majority at the merge, and be screwed. So,
I mean, like, yeah, they might legit not lose anyone, and then everyone's just going to see a block of 6 and be like, well, we got to start getting rid of them. So, I mean, yeah, it's just like, yeah, this tribe really does seem like very uneven in terms of challenge ability. I know they came in second on this one, but like, it's hard for me to imagine them finishing third. I'm sure it can happen, but I'm just right now it's a little difficult. So,
Yeah.
So what else happened before we got to tribal? We had the journey,
The challenge.
where
The
the journeys are now just kind of like, okay, pick someone, we go. They don't even get to talk anymore.
I
They
know.
just show up
I
and
kind of miss that. Like,
that
as
was the
much
only
as
interesting thing about them.
yeah, it's like the segments, like, they took too long, but it's like, well, they're not gonna be like, if Mary somehow makes the merge, right? Like, is it gonna be like, oh, well, I know I have a relationship with Mitch and
Right.
with, I already forgot who went on purple, Thomas. But like, because it's like, oh, we said hi, they confirmed each other's names, and then there's no sense of whether, like, neither of them have the knowledge of if anyone else got one. Like, I feel like
Right.
that used to be a factor too.
Right.
And yeah, so now it's just kind of, and so the only like decision is that depending on the path, it looks like that depends on which advantage you get, but it's not like you have any insight or like, oh, this is a better advantage, but it's a harder challenge. Like, that could be interesting, but
Yeah.
or you
And-
have less time or something like that. But it's just like, oh, by luck of the draw, Thomas got a more powerful advantage than Mitch did.
Right. And, just to kind of put that into context about why one's more powerful than the other, if you think about, say, a scenario where there's 5 people left, and I know you know this, I'm just explaining. But if you have a scenario where there's 5 people left, if you block a vote, in either scenario, let's say you have one ally, so you're trying to flip a majority. If you block a vote, then you have 2 votes for someone and two votes for someone else, which means you're tied 2-2. But if you steal a vote, then it's 3-2. You see, so the steal vote is just straight up better. Now, the block a vote does have the anonymity, but honestly, these things are so rarely useful enough to where that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's why I think it is totally reasonable of Mitch to come back and be like, we got an advantage. Because
yes,
where that could come in handy is a group at the merge or mergatory,
totally.
Or probably most likely at if they do the stupid split tribal,
Yeah.
Still, whether he has it or if he's able to pass it to someone, and if one of them is, if their group is in a minor, but in a 2-3 or something
right.
Because, well, not a 2-3, but
Yeah, because this type of advantage, the steal and the block a vote, they're only useful for votes and alliances. They're not useful just for a single person. There's no scenario where one person can change their fate unless they have other people that are working with them. Or I guess the entire majority is kind of between you and someone else. And then you're just okay, I just want to steer it onto that person, which, I mean, that could be good. But for the most part, these are only useful for your alliance, not for you. So yeah, you got to it's like letting your alliance know, letting your tribe know that you have this. I don't have a problem with that. That's good. They're the people that are going to have to help you figure out when to use it. So
yeah, and I think also decent lie for Thomas of just saying I didn't play. I mean, it might be a problem if the next one, but if they do a different challenge, we've seen they mix it up a decent amount, so not unbelievable.
Another example that Thomas is playing the game. He's willing to do stuff, and I think if anyone on that tribe is going to make stuff happen, it's going to be Thomas. So.
Meanwhile, Mary losing her vote, I feel ends up really affecting that tribe just based on how everything goes. Not only, obviously, I can understand why she thought, well, I'm just a sitting duck, but
sure.
I think if she does have it, is it possible, do Kevin and Cedric, I mean, not Cedric, do Kevin and Justin decide pizza? My bad. Not.
I don't know who Justin is.
Just don't tell Cedric about their plan and just vote out Say. Also, at that point, Mary, I think we can assume hers would have been an extra vote just based on what the others are.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Then she and Kevin can really potentially do something.
Sure.
But obviously that's just a tie. But maybe you get Justin to flip, or maybe you are able to finagle a 3-2-1 or something. But instead, her not having the... I feel like Kevin's big problem is not realizing how close Cedric and Say were.
Yeah, I don't know if Mary having her vote would have changed that.
No, I think if she has her vote and if she has an extra vote, what you do is not involve Cedric in the plan.
Right. But Kevin might not have wanted to leave him out if he thought that Cedric was closer to him than Say.
Right. That's true. And the issue there in terms of whether or not it's a mistake or just bad luck is Cedric mentions Say calls him dad.
Right.
If she has done that in front of Kevin, insane. Then even going to him at all on that, that's not gonna work. It's at least Star doesn't know that Joe and Eva are that connected, right? There's
right.
No reason for her to know that, because the main reason for this bond, of course, is Eva confiding in Joe. Obviously, Star doesn't know that because that would make it not being her confiding in him. So that's relatively reasonable. If Say has in front of the group referred to Cedric as dad or her island dad or anything like that, then it's over, man. That's not gonna... you got to just let Mary go at that point, I think.
Right. And two things on that. One, kind of insulting to Cedric. He's only 15 years older than Say. Like, I mean, he's 45 and she's 30, you know?
I had that thought, but I'm trying to remember just how much older, say, like Andy and John are than I am. And it definitely referred to as like, oh, finance dad.
No,
dad.
yeah. Actually, they might be less than 15 years, so.
I think they are. I think John definitely.
Yeah, John definitely is. John's
and Andy, I think it's pretty close. I think it's like maybe 13. We're in the weeds. That doesn't matter. Yeah. The point is, you know, these things happen.
Okay. Fair. But the second point there was knowing Say, of course she said that in front of other people. I mean, like, that girl has no chill.
Right. Yeah. So the odds are, like, and I assume you haven't, but I've seen Kevin's exits, and I get, because he's saying, like, okay, if they get rid of Mary, and they will probably lose again based on, you know, the everything. I mean, the very fact that I think Kevin was supposed to be their strong guy and he's playing hurt, that's tough. But
also, Kevin's nowhere near the size of the other strong guys.
It's crazy. I felt so bad listening to, I know you guys don't do this, but like listening to the pregame press, he talks about how, like, yeah, looking around and they don't know each other's names, so, but it's like, it was definitely Joe and David, and I'm not sure whether it was Kyle or Shaheen, but he was like, well, clearly one of these guys is going to be on my tribe because they're like the strong guy, and it's like listening from like the future. It's like, oh no, Kevin, we have terrible news. You're the strong guy on your tribe. And like, he is in good shape, but he is physically smaller. That's just facts.
He fits more into the, rather than like David and Joe are like big and strong, whereas like Shaheen and Kyle are like a little smaller and like very like, you know, toned and like, you know, like like they got like good like gym bodies, you know, more. And like Kevin fits more into that, I'd say.
Yeah, well, also I think just being probably a little shorter, which isn't always a huge problem, but he probably would have crushed, well, I guess he wouldn't because of his shoulder, but as like the individual immunities, he might have actually
he might have done very well. Yeah, well, you know what they say, can't teach height.
That one's been a while.
It has been a while, but yeah.
And his height teaching class.
And we saw, you know, them perform in the challenge, and that was a disaster.
Yeah, and so anyway, but the reason why I say is like, because he's like, okay, even if they vote on Mary, like they're probably going to tribal again. At this point, Say has an idol. I guess what we didn't really see, although I guess kind of is indicated by how the episode went, is that Justin and Cedric were really vibing and were actually closer, rather than it being like a Kevin and Justin. And so Kevin's like, well, I'm clearly the fourth. I was added into this alliance while I was like away. And if she's got an idol, like, then I'm really the fourth, right? There's not even a chance.
Yeah. Especially, right. Yeah. So
I can understand. I can understand the rationale. It just, you know, didn't work out. And I'm not actually, and so I think, while again, it would have been tough the next round, I do kind of think if your goal is maybe to stay there just a little longer, like maybe you do just have to accept it and get rid of Mary, but I don't know. It is tough because he doesn't have a lot of leeway then the next week. So he was in a tough position.
Yeah. So, like, I guess, what do we think of kind of how everyone on Vulu played this? You know, I mean, you know, you gave your kind of Kevin opinion, and I agree with you. I think Kevin was in a tough position. I think it's a worthwhile shot to try to get rid of Sai, especially because, let's be honest, Sai might be with you now. I don't know if she's someone that you want with you long term. I know everyone is going to be talking about like, oh yeah, you know, like, well, I can beat her at the end, but like, you're probably not going to get to the game if you're sitting next to her, because she's someone who probably can't win and is very active, and that's the worst type of goat. So
yeah, Definitely look back at a really old blog I wrote on the website for more. But yeah, I think, I mean, Mary, I don't know, she was just vibing and it worked out. So
Mary
that,
did exactly what
no
she should have
comment.
done. No,
Yep.
because I think if Mary tried to do more, they would have
Scheming.
kept the target on her because they're like, oh no,
Exactly.
she's really dangerous.
Yeah, so just hope for the best. You can't do anything. Shitty position, but hey,
Totally.
maybe now you can work with it. Cedric, I feel like it's weird. I feel like on the one, like I feel like he kind of accidentally played himself into a great position.
Cedric is now kind of king of the tribe. I
Yeah.
mean, I know Sai's running things, but now it's no one's going to come for him. Everyone on this tribe is going to look for it. The problem is he's tied himself so much to Sai that, if he remains beholden to her, she might be an anchor on his game.
Yeah. So first of all, because this, per last week's podcast episode, this has apparently become my job. I do feel compelled to tell you it's Say, but also not Sai,
Oh,
but also, yeah, because it's really, on the one hand, this didn't really go because he wanted to keep Kevin in the game, like originally, and now obviously he votes him out. So he clearly didn't care that much. But his original thing was, telling, Say to play her idol. And he like straight up tells her, I want to have my cake and eat it too. Don't do that. Don't
yeah.
tell her that.
It is funny how his plan was basically you play your idol, and then we all vote someone else out. And if I was Say, I would have said, why am I playing my idol then?
Right. Yeah, because he even says he's like, and I will vote with you to vote Mary, which would make it like
2 votes right there.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay,
Worst
can we
case
just talk to Justin? Like,
Yeah,
but which she does. But so I feel like the move would have been if his ultimate goal was like to, vote out Mary, keep Kevin around. You need to wait till the very last minute.
Yeah.
To tell Say, like,
Yeah.
say, play your idol, just trust me. I tried to change it. Excuse me. I tried to change it, but like, play your idol, play your idol.
Which maybe he did. Like, maybe he did wait till it was pretty late, but she had just a little more time to kind of run to Pizza.
I don't know. I mean, she talked to Pizza and then Pizza talked to Cedric. Like, that felt like they had time. But because he didn't do that, like, now he's in a spot where and he's apparently, he's working with Justin, he's working with Say. I don't think either of them are targeting him before the other. And you still so your worst case scenario probably is that Justin and Mary end up working together to do what? Have 2-2? Like, what?
Yeah, no, he's the one that's definitely, I think, in like the best position on that tribe. What do you think of what Pizza's decision?
Yeah, I think it's probably the worst move for him out of everybody besides, Kevin.
See, yeah, I don't know
because
that I
think
agree. But
okay,
go on.
well,
But I
I'll
want to
just
hear
say
your thoughts.
I don't know that it's like game ending or anything, but I think he was in a spot where he could probably have worked with Kevin. They were, swing votes. Really what it is I think, well, you know what? I think ultimately it's fine because I think what I was going to say is that it would probably ultimately be better for him that Say is not in the game because I think for most people that's going to end up proving to be an issue. However, Cedric telling her kind of took that off the table. So,
right. And that's my point. The second she comes to him, it's, the second that he knows that she knows that she's the target, he's like, oh, okay, no, I'm with you. Of course I wasn't going to vote you out. Ha ha, why would you ever think that? He has to pretend that he's still in good with them because he doesn't want to be the next target. He knows how quick they can flip off Mary. He just sees it right here. So yeah, if she's playing her idol, he's got to be like, okay, then that's not the vote this episode. Maybe next time. We'll see.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still think maybe better for him to then try to, push it to get Mary instead just because he had something with Kevin. But, I don't think it's going to necessarily ruin his game beyond the point that Say was no longer a viable option.
Right. Okay. And then let's talk about Say, because I feel like probably a lot about how people are feeling about this season, if they have strong feelings, are going to be how they feel about Say so far. So how do you feel about Say?
I mean, you know what? I think she's good TV. I thought it was pretty funny at Tribal, like the fact that she fully knows that she's playing her idol and just is like, I'm just going to stress Kevin out by like talking about the alliance and doing all of this, where he thinks like they're about to blindside her and yet is still like, all like, oh no. And stuff. Meanwhile, she knows exactly what's going to happen. I think that's funny. I would not personally, I don't think, want to live on an island with her. But yeah, I mean, I think she's making for a fun antagonist so far.
So I disagree. I can't stand her. I have just a really visceral reaction to her. With her kind of combination of anxiousness and whininess is driving me crazy. It's like the worst combo of like this. Just like some people we see who are always like, "Woe is me, I'm on the bottom," but she's not. And then I'm entitled to this kind of stuff, and then just her. Everything she says is just coming off as so whiny to me, and I can't take it. I can't stand her. She is not at the Banu level yet, but she's going to get there for me. I can guarantee that, unless she's off this season. And it's really, I didn't mind it as much in episode 1. I really minded it in episode 2. So.
That's fair. I guess I wasn't as focused on the whining aspects and more like the ones she was really playing. I did think, like, for example, I thought it was so funny that she's like, I'm happy that people want to vote me out because I'm playing so hard. I'm like, girl, it's day 5. You don't want that yet. You don't want that now. But I did find it pretty annoying with Back to the Journey when I was like, no, they said it was a practice round. Like, you're not going to strong arm your body. And also, if you really want to go, or rather, you don't care, like, if it's not that you want to go, you want to keep Mary from going, you throw out a 1 again then. Like,
her, that was a great kind of example of everything that drove me crazy, with her just giving the confessional about how dumb everyone on her tribe is. And it's like, what do you do? It's like, what do you do? She's just like very kind of stubborn and, mono-focused. And it's funny because like I should be a fan because she's someone on that tribe that's trying to make stuff happen, when everyone else in that tribe I find very boring, very boring. Even like Cedric barely, just like a bland shirt, Pizza. I forgot that he was in this season until he popped up near the end. I was like, oh, right, Pizza. I forgot about Pizza. Mary seems nice. Maybe if she gets more time, isn't on the bottom, she could be interesting. I don't know. Kevin, again, kind of seemed nice. Say's like the active one on that tribe, and I can't stand her. And that's right now my problem with the season, is that Vulu's both kind of boring, if they're not like actively antagonizing me when I'm watching, and they're the disaster tribe, so I got to watch them a lot. And I hope that changes because I like the other 2 tribes a lot more. So
yeah, that's sort of where you get the 46 upside, right? Is that that if they are the disaster tribe, like, they're gonna go home.
Which I'd be fine with. With if I
so
put up with like 2 more episodes of them just being terrible and getting rid of people I don't like, I'm like, you know what? Fine, that's cool. I can live with that.
Exactly. And hey, you know what? Shay doesn't have her idol anymore. Maybe, and not that, like, I know you're saying, like, it's not like Mary was super exciting either, but, like, if, say, Mary finds one, well, then they can't vote her out, so now it gets spicy.
I will say Mary's the person I like the most on that tribe. It's not a high bar comparatively, but it's still true. So,
And I'm sure so much of that is, the classic like underdog factor and stuff.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
I
that
will
is a big
say,
part of it.
my mom devastated to see Kyle go. Very disappointed, which is so funny. I'm not really sure why. I mean, or I said Kyle, I meant Kevin. These basic ass millennial boy names on this season, which makes sense because everyone is 34. But got like
This season is apparently the oldest newbie season since like Philippines, if you count that, which had a few returnees, and if not, then even older. But yeah,
so
no,
you
the
got
average
Kyle and
age
Kevin and
is
Justin. Yeah, and truly, I mean, and I say this as someone who is 34, although not for a ton longer. Like, half the cat, it's not just like, oh, they're all in their 30s. They're all 34. Like, everyone is 34. It's
yeah,
weird.
it is a very narrow age range for most of these people. It's basically like, except for, a few outliers, it's mostly 28 to 34. And then you have like a few people who are,
Yeah,
in
a
their
little
40s or
older,
50s.
younger.
So,
Yeah. Anyway, she says, now I just hope Mary kicks their butts.
well, there you
Getting
go.
rid of just the most like mom survivor text.
Yeah. So I guess, who are you rooting for? Who do you like? We know who I dislike, but who do you like?
Let's see. What a good question. Because it's always hard when it's this early. I guess most of purple,
Yeah.
I forgot their name again. Loggy. I was like,
There
I
you
wrote
go.
it down. Most of them. I kind of like the Civa 4 alliance. I think
I do too.
Camilla, I thought was funny in her pregame press. I know you don't see that, but I'm always gonna flock to the funny girl. But so I think I like her. Her and Kyle could be a fun partnership. Um, I will say David is not as annoying as I thought he'd be based on the preview last season.
Man,
But
David,
we'll see.
every time he starts talking, I feel like I roll my eyes in anticipation of like, oh, this guy. And then it's like, oh, that wasn't bad. He didn't like give off. I keep expecting him to be like Garrett from from the or was that the Philippines? No, that wasn't Philippines. That was
Cagayan.
Cagayan. Yeah, thank you. I knew I had the wrong one there. Yeah, Garrett from Cagayan. I keep expecting him to be like that whenever he opens his mouth. And then it's like, oh no, okay, this guy's not that bad. Yeah, I agree. I like most of Loggy. I do like the Civa. I like most of the Civa 4. I don't care about Chrissy, but I like Mitch. I think Thomas has real potential to be like someone like really, really interesting. I agree about Camilla too. I think she's got like really good potential. Joe, I like the Joe and Eva dynamic. Shaheen seems pretty interesting. I like Kyle, seems like a very amusing golden retriever. So yeah, no, I mean, like, it's just everyone I like is on those other two tribes, and Vula,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, once they're gone, it'll be pretty net positive.
I agree. And the thing is, the people we've lost for Vula aren't people I felt like, oh man, I love them. Sad to see them go. Stephanie was like, oh boy, I don't care. Get out of. It's like, I don't care about you. Like, I loved when she was in the first episode when she was like, I'm just going to sit back. That's the way you play Survivor. I'm like, you're getting voted out.
Yeah, I definitely didn't feel strongly that time. I mean, mildly, I personally felt like Kevin was my eye candy this season, so that's a little disappointing. But oh well, luckily Andrew Garfield is just strutting all the sorts of red carpet, so I can look at him instead. Well, I guess award season is over.
Yeah. Well,
he looked so good at the Oscars, you guys. It's been a lot for me these past few months. Anyway,
do you have anything else you want to say about the episode, or should we go into our top 3 that we do every week?
Yeah, I think that covers it. I guess it's basically, we're going to talk about like our weird body parts, right?
Yeah. So we're going to do here's the thing. We were going to do the humble traits, but, me and Emma, we're the humble list, we're number one at the top of the humble list, I mean, sometimes I feel more humble than Dikembe Mutombo after a stumble left him covered in a big pot of gumbo. So instead, we're going to talk about top 3 Lonely Island songs. And if you didn't get what I was quoting there, that's from their song, I'm So Humble, which is the first song off Popstar.
And if you have not seen Popstar, never stop it.
You got it? Yeah,
you
that's
must.
the title. You must see it. It is a great song, a great movie with great songs. Sorry for misspeaking there. So yeah. So top 3 Lonely Island songs. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So, we talked about this a little bit beforehand, but I am firmly, I would say, in the Lonely Island generation. It is fun seeing like the young girls have like who's like the funny, cute guy on SNL that they like thirst for. Because I was like, oh, in my day it was Andy Samberg, and time marches on. It's a beautiful thing. But yeah, so I'm not even sure, and I was also honest with you about this, so I'll tell the audience. I had a lot of work today. We're recording when I'm technically supposed to still be working.
No. Emma's work. That is not true. This was recorded shortly before posting. There is no paper trail to anything to the contrary.
And yeah, Emma's work. That's right. My legal name is Emma.
That's right.
If you think it's not.
As your lawyer, don't say another word about it.
Anyway, I mean, I'll just keep working after. It's actually not a problem. But all that to say, I know you know. All that to say is that I didn't do a great job of prepping beforehand, which maybe you can tell by the overall vibe of this episode. Sorry. So I didn't, really nail down, do research and really think about what my top 3 is. So I'm going off vibes, baby.
Go off vibes. Vibe it up.
Luckily, the vibe is strong because if anyone watched the SNL concert special, which I probably wasn't going to until our friend Brad was like, hey, this was actually good. And I was like, okay, I will watch it over the period of different times because it was long. But they had a whole Lonely Island medley.
I actually watched that just before we started recording.
It is so good and it makes me so happy because I knew Lady Gaga was doing Dick in a Box, but I didn't know it was going to be a whole medley.
Right.
And when I heard, and so this is my number 3, is when I heard the beat start for Lazy Sunday.
Yeah.
Something happened I screamed. It was crazy. I was just like, ah! And I was like, bro, because look, and this was the first, right? And so it's a little basic, but it's just this was one of the first, not only Lonely Island things, but internet things. This is early YouTube.
Yeah.
This is everything. I have a weirdly vivid memory of sitting on a ski lift with my brother talking about Lazy Sunday. And he's like, oh no, Google Maps is actually really good though. You should be using that instead of MapQuest.
Weird
what?
Conversation, but okay. I mean,
yeah,
true.
Well, he was an adult and I was a teenager. But so I was starting to drive. It's just it's a banger, man. I don't know.
It's a good song.
I know it by heart. There's so many good bits. It was a weird time when Hamilton was popular because then whenever Hamilton was meant and Aaron Burr, I would both get that stuck in my head, but also be like, you can call me Aaron Burr from the Wham Drop in Hamilton. Any time, Magnolia Cupcakes is mentioned. I'm like, 2, no, 6, no, 12, Baker's dozen. Yeah. All of it. It's just a banger. Love it. So great. Such a classic. Chris Parnell has gone gray so well, by the way.
I saw that in that medley. I was actually very impressed by that.
Beautiful head of silver hair. Anyway, yeah, so that's my number 3,
All right.
Lazy Sunday.
So my number 3 was also in that medley. My number 3 is Jack Sparrow. And, it's just got that big sexy hook. you know? So,
Sorry, I can't stop giggling.
I mean, who knew Michael Bolton was such a cinephile? No, it's really good. It's one of those songs where it's like they do the whole surprise bit of the song really well, you know, and just like unexpectedly. Just it starts off like a song that you're not interested in, and then Michael Bolton starts singing about Jack Sparrow, and you're like, what is going on? I love this. So, big fan of Jack Sparrow.
So good. And I will add, just for relevancy, that I recently watched with my husband, The French Connection, due to the passing of Gene Hackman. I had never seen it before. There's a part where one of the French guys is like just sort of getting off the boat, but the way he's standing on a boat, even though the boat's not sinking, it was very much giving Jack Sparrow Pirates of the Caribbean. And so I was like, Jack Sparrow. And then promptly that was stuck in my head the rest of the day.
Of course. How could it not be?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I'll give my number 2 next.
Okay. Snake style.
Yeah, Snake style. My number 2 is Finest Girl from Popstar.
That is a good one.
Yeah, big fan of Finest Girl. You really need to, it's one of those songs that's great in the movie. It's even better if you see like the whole like the video online of the whole thing, because really great video. Just, I mean, really, I love that song. It's another good one where it's like, when like the twist comes in, it's a great twist to the song. And you know the twist because the parenthetical to it is the Bin Laden song.
Yeah, as soon as he said that, just in my entire head is just I was like, we're usually explicit, but I still feels weird saying that lyric out loud.
Look, he fucked her like he fucked Bin Laden, so.
Like he fucked Bin Laden.
There's so many great just like little jokes in that one that I loved.
So much.
One of my favorites is it is when the part of the song where it's like invade my cave with your special unit, and he just goes, he wasn't in a cave.
Yes, a great one. And again, go watch Popstar.
Yeah, again, go watch Popstar, because that will not be the last Popstar song on my list. Just warning.
Watch Popstar. I think I know what your first one will be. So I'm keeping it to, again, because I mentioned, being very of the Lonely Island generation.
Yep.
I'm doing kind of a lot of the early round, the classic.
This is good. This means we're probably going to get like 6 different songs. This is great.
Yeah, the ones on Incredibad, which I downloaded off of LimeWire. And so my number 2, I'm choosing partially because it came out when I was a freshman in college, and one of my very best friends who officiated my wedding made this his ringtone for so long that it went from being like, oh, the new Lonely Island song, to being like, that's still your ringtone, to being like, nice, like, and it being funny again.
I kind of want to guess what this is.
Okay, do you want
to guess, or should I guess, or should you reveal?
Well, I can't guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sure, you can guess.
Is it I Just Had Sex?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that came a little late, but close. Okay. Thematically similar. He did not just have sex, but he did jizz in my pants.
Yeah, okay. Good
choice. So his ringtone was in the
Okay.
Yeah. Again, a banger. Has ruined the way I hear the word horror film. Or mentioned seeing a film, because last week I saw a film. I recall it was a horror film. Just it hits that nostalgic part for me. It's so silly.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so silly. The great gifts came from that. Andy Samberg's face.
Yep.
Is a lot. Once he's listing all of the things that happened, great times were had by all. I remember every time you stand next to me. At all times, it's a necessity. Beautiful. probably don't recommend. I wouldn't know, but I feel like that's not like the move. But anyway, if we're still doing snake test, should I now do my number one?
Yeah, let's hear your number one.
Okay, so again, I'm sticking to the ones that I basically have fully memorized. Although, quick sidebar about the one I just had sex, which is not on my list, but
it's in my honorable mentions. But yeah,
it's an honorable mention. I have a friend who, with some of their other friends, when such things would occur, would just text the person, la 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 la.
Oh God.
I was not a part of that. I just want to say, this was with her friends from back home. I mean, I was trying to be vague.
Yeah,
it's fine.
okay.
You don't know who any of my friends are.
Fair.
Anyway, yeah, weird move. But LOL. No. So my number one continues to be one that I have fully memorized. In fact, while waiting, in the bridal suite, preparing to go to the ceremony for my friend's wedding, when I was a bridesmaid, upon her request, I wrapped the whole thing. And why? Why did I do this right before a wedding, you might ask? Well, it's because the wedding was on a yacht.
Oh.
Because this song is I'm on a boat.
That was also in my honorable mentions. Very close to picking that one.
One that I like so much that even the little beginning part is funny to me, where he's just picking the people, like, it's like, Civa, and T-Pain.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. I know it all.
Yep.
Everything is possible.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's mine. Okay, I feel like I know what yours is going to be, but why don't you tell me?
Give me your guess. Give me your guess, since I tried to guess yours.
Okay, well, I'm suddenly blanking on what it's actually called. Hold on. Pop star. Oh wait, that's gonna just bring you up. Oh yeah. My guess is Equal Rights.
Okay, so I knew you were going to guess that. It is not Equal Rights.
Okay.
Equal Rights was also an honorable mention for me.
It's a good one.
It's a really good one. I love Equal Rights. It's probably the one that I first saw and then made me watch Pop Star, because I saw that and then I was like, oh, I got to watch this movie. No. My number one Lonely Island song does share a quality with one of the other ones on my top 3 list. And it's right at the end of the movie. They save it for the end because it's the best song in the movie.
Of course.
It's Incredible Thoughts.
Incredible Thoughts, yeah.
Now, I do like, as it's presented in the movie with the full donkey roll, middle part, and then they go back to Incredible Thoughts. Again, Michael Bolton singing his head off. Really silly stuff. I love the fact that you can just hear him yell, like, my brain is a genius right at the end. It's just like, what is going on back there? And it's just, I love that song. I very frequently will just kind of pop on that clip from the movie just to watch. Not because it's like particularly funny or anything, just because like, man, I love that song. What's like the best way to hear that song? Oh yeah, let me just watch that movie scene, of course. I mean, like, and yeah, like I love like basically all the songs in this movie. We came to this top 3 because of, me joking about I'm so, humble traits to I'm so humble. That's, that starts off as a banger. And that's like one of like the least of the songs on the movie. I also love like Mona Lisa. I very frequently think about, just like, just Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of shit. All the time I think about
yeah,
that.
that is.
I mean, like.
There was a, well, I'll tell you later. It's too complicated to tell the podcast, but a funny thing about the Mona Lisa one. I will also say, just as an honorable mention, because I've now pulled up Incredibat on Spotify, and I'm like, I'm going to need to listen to this now.
Yep.
Is as many of you know, I grew up in Santa Cruz, so Ross Trent really speaks to me, and because I know Andy Samberg went to UCSC for a couple of years, and that tracks. based on that one. Plus, I just really enjoyed going ba-da-da-da, ding dong da-da, ding dong duck. Fun was had for all.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love the Lonely Island, you guys.
This
So
is a
great.
good top three. This is a
Can't
good
believe,
top
like,
three.
none of us even said Dick in a Box. Dick in a Box is so good.
I mean, Dick in a Box is great, but it's also, is it my top three? It's not my top
It's not,
three.
because they have so much.
They got so much good stuff. Dick in a Box is what people who don't know the Lonely Island would put because it's the only Lonely Island song they know.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But there's so much more than that. You need the deep cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Says the girl who picked some pretty basic ones. But that's fine.
I just picked a bunch from the movie they were in.
That's
pretty
also
basic.
true.
So
yeah, we didn't do anything from Turtleneck and Chin.
Yeah. So.
Oh, Threw It on the Ground is so good though.
Threw It on the Ground is really good.
That's one that really comes into my lexicon. It was just a lot of happy birthday to the ground and my dad is not a phone. Not a part of your system. Oh wait, you did Jack Sparrow's from this album.
I did do Jack Sparrow with that big sexy hook. Just that part of it. Anyway, why don't you give us your top 3 Lonely Island songs in the comments? We'd love to see them.
Yeah, and if you feel like telling us what's weird about your body, you're welcome to do that too. My ring fingers are crooked, both of them. Don't know why.
I didn't prepare that.
No, you don't have to. It's just...
Hit the theme music.
This is the copyright-free outro to the Purple Rock Survivor podcast.